welcome to our more in-depth look with my experience with vagus nerve treatment. So, we touched a little bit about this, and it may seem like a completely foreign concept to you, but just to reiterate, your vagus nerve is responsible for, and this is like simply speaking, as obviously I only have a very basic understanding of this, but it's responsible for your parasympathetic nervous system, which, as you know, is responsible also for your fight or flight. It's also responsible for your rest, digest, and repair. Basically, it's a super underestimated, kind of a big deal part of our bodies. My experiences with this have been really interesting. So my first treatment, I also want to preface this by saying that as far as I know, there's only one practitioner that does actual treatments specific to this. There are other practitioners that you can get treatments that will kind of touch on your vagus nerve while doing other things, but if you want a specific vagus nerve treatment, there's only one practitioner that I know of. I'll leave it in the show notes. She also offers a course, which I took, which is actually really cool, the kind of like all around this and all around chronic pain and all that kind of stuff. So that could also be an option for you as well if you're not really sure about receiving actual treatment and you would like to kind of, like I do, like stumble through things on your own or need a little more insight into yourself. Both really fun options. These treatments that I've gotten are actually distance treatments. So I haven't gone into the actual clinic to receive these treatments. I've done it from home. Now, depending on what your views on these things are, let's not get into that because that's not important. It's distance. So basically that means I'm at home laying in my bed. The practitioner is in her space doing her treatment, and you're asking me, how does it even work? You're not even together. Well, people, energy is energy. It's as big or as small as it needs to be. It does not require in-person. So right here is your moment to take or leave this conversation. You know, there's a lot of other energy healings. This is a science-backed treatment that is offered by a doctor of chiropractic. So this is very scientific. It's very based in that scientific realm. It's just offered in an energetic space. So I think that's super exciting. I think it's really fun. I love that it's meshing the two things together. But again, I want you to have an open mind. So if this isn't for you, it isn't for you. If you think it's interesting, check it out. My experience. So my first one was quite interesting. I want to preface this by saying this was also the first distance treatment I've actually ever even had, where like I wasn't with the practitioner in anything. I know a lot of people do it for Reiki, they do it for other sort of like more intuitive things, but especially like medically backed science-based kind of thing. This is the first thing I've ever done like this, which also made it really interesting. But I was at home, cozy, in my guest bed, all like wrapped up, had a little candle going, you know, set the mood. And you just kind of lay there. You get a phone call. She says, "Are you ready?" "Yep." "Cool." And the treatment, I think, can go from anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes kind of thing, depending on what you need. Now, as some of you know who have followed some other things I've talked about, I really like meditating a lot, and I really enjoy my yoga and all that kind of stuff. So I feel somewhat open to the energetics and stuff like that. I've also experienced a lot of random energetic things happening around me. and I receive a lot of channeling when I'm meditating. So it wasn't weird to me, some of the things that were happening in my body and some of the messages that I was getting, and this isn't to like scare you or freak you out, but messages as in, I was laying there and I noticed that it felt like, and like I could feel things like releasing in my body, which was really cool. And then there came a point where I could actually feel like someone inside of me, like stomping their feet, really angry, really mad. And it was just kept saying like, she's really mad. And I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. I have to remember this. And then when the treatment's over, she calls you and you discuss it. And I brought it up and I said, I just want to like mention this to you to see if like you noticed it or if it was just me. And she was like, oh my God, I did notice that, but I thought it was something that I thought it was me. And I was like, no, it was 100% me. And we were like, oh my God, and you're wondering what this has to do with any of this. What this has to do with any of this is like everything in your body is tied together. I'm going on a tangent here. Everything in your body is so tied together. Your mind, your body, your energy field, your biofield, your aura, whatever you want to call it, based on what your thoughts and beliefs and all that kind of stuff are. But all of these things are so tied together. And I think that that's the confusion with I'm going to call it like the medical system, and why we're talking about all these different practitioners, because there's so many different practitioners for so many different things. And your body is so vast that people can only know so much about you and so much about their craft, their like career, their whatever you want to call it. So it makes it really difficult for everybody to know everything. So the interesting thing about this is that it actually allows a lot of these streams to come together, because in doing this treatment, I was put in touch with that like inner child that's in me that probably most of us don't have a lot of contact with, or don't really realize the long-lasting effects of an upset or an angry inner child. And you're thinking like, what does the inner child have to do with anything and your parasympathetic nerve system, and when you're stressed and when you're triggered, and like, what does that have to do with it? I'm 30, 40, 50, 60, what is my inner child and what does it have to do with anything? So maybe the exciting thing, or maybe the overwhelming thing for you, depending, is everything. It has a lot to do with a lot of things. When you're a child, you are so impressionable and you're learning so much about the world, and your world views are taught to you or formed or shaped by the people around you, by most likely your parents, or any other important role models, grandparents, aunts, uncles, older siblings, best friends. Like all of that shapes who you are as you evolve as a person. So your inner child, if not cared for and acknowledged and worked on, can just be like sitting there harboring these feelings or these thoughts, and really have an impact on how you see things later in life as you're evolving. And I just want to bring that awareness to you. I know like this is such a tangent, I can't help it. But so for myself, for example, I was raised not in a like abusive home, or not like I wasn't homeless. I wasn't like, as far as I was concerned, I had a great childhood. However, I'm one of the high statistical children that's a child of divorce. Part of that is, and I was quite young, right? It wasn't like the cool thing to do when my parents were divorced, and I was 12 or so, and I had a younger brother, and that really shaped me, that I've learned through counseling and other things like that, which that'll be a whole other topic. But how much that shaped me and how I've grown and evolved as a person because of how that child was treated and how she was modeled her beliefs and her thoughts and her self-worth, and how those beliefs carry out through the next 20 years of my life. So how she feels and is contained within me affects everything in the future as to how I am now in this moment. And until she is acknowledged, and acknowledged doesn't mean you cater to that part of you. Acknowledged doesn't mean that you need to fear that part of you. It doesn't mean that you're a slave to that part of you. It doesn't mean that you need to act like a child. It doesn't mean that you need to keep these traits going on and like still be the same person that you were, or go back to and regress to that person to acknowledge your inner child. It means that you literally just need to say, I see you, I understand you, I'm sorry for the pain, the hurt, the whatever it is, everyone will be different, that you experienced. And I thank you for your place in keeping me safe, in protecting me, in whatever acknowledgement your inner child needs. I thank you for that. And you slowly, right? This is all a process. Slowly let that go, slowly work through it, and she no longer holds you. So that was really cool. Experience that. What else did I experience? So again, the really interesting thing of part of it, because it is based on your nervous system. So there is an aspect of traditional Chinese medicine to it, which is also very interesting, because your nervous system, your whole body function, now again, traditional Chinese medicine, totally different thing. I have like zero understanding of it. If it interests you, please look it up. I'd love to see a doctor on it one day. Maybe I will, and we'll talk about it then. However, your body is full of meridians. It is full, so meridians are your, part of your nervous system. Let's not even, I won't even pretend. But you have your yin and your yang, your masculine, your feminine, right? This goes through all sorts of different spiritualities, religions, beliefs, whatever, right? There is your chi, your prana, your life force, your like your Holy Spirit, like all those things, right? They all have different names, but they're all the same thing. They're all that energy flowing and moving within your body. So part of this treatment is the ability to, and the great part about it being a distance treatment, is the ability to recognize and feel the energy and where it's stuck, where it's maybe not moving, where it's hotter or cooler than it should be. And every part in your body has an equal, it's like everything else, right? The world is full of duality. So every part in your body has a partner or a match. So you can learn a lot about those things as well. Maybe you have, your digestive problems, your problems with your liver, and where a normal, say, like physical treatment can't access that area, or like massage it, we'll say, these distance treatments can, because it is, as much as it might be your physical body with things stuck, your energetic body has these things stuck as well. So it's just as important to clear, flush, move, whatever word you want to associate it with, keep that energy flowing as it is to keep that physical body flowing. So that's a really fun thing. This treatment kind of brings all those aspects of self together, treating, again, your body, your mind, because you also learn, maybe the more practitioners you see, or the more you try and deal with your chronic pain, how much your mind actually plays into it as well. So working on your mind. So again, the program that I was talking about, I'll link it because that's really cool. There's a whole bunch of other things. If you subscribe to our emails, I often give like random little tidbits and recommendations, and there is a really cool podcast about, what is the word? Yep, can't remember it. But about how your mind really plays a big part in your body and how to reprogram your mind and your responses as well. Because you may not realize that you're responding to certain triggers in a certain way, but you are, and then that's affecting your body, right? The whole chronic pain and stress and how much that actually affects you and how much it affects your body. If you want to know what I mean, you can watch the videos on my story, and I explain like what I went through, how I got here, and why we're talking about this, and why I feel like it's really important for me to share these random things with you. I just don't want you to go through your life experiencing this pain and experiencing this stress, and I want you to have that little bit of knowledge of how much every aspect of self and every aspect of your human being, inner being, energetic being really affects you, and how you truly have control over your responses, your projections, and how you feel about things, and how you move forward with things. So if you feel like your nervous system is like just wired for anything, you just snap at everything, you just feel like high stress at all points in time, you just feel like you're never like able to calm down, maybe you have that attachment to overeating, maybe you can't eat, maybe you have that like excess inflammation in your body, maybe your body's not digesting properly, maybe you have trouble sleeping. These are all affected by that parasympathetic nervous system, all affected by that vagus nerve, because when these things aren't working properly, again, your body cannot enter those natural states of your rest, digest, and repair. So when you're living up here, right, it's natural for your body to do this. That's totally what we were designed to do. But when you're resting up here and you're not getting that moment, your body's not getting the chance to do what it's supposed to do. And I mean, think about our bodies, like they're magical, they're wonderful, they're amazing, all the things that they can do. But we as like the human being have to support that body as well. And the best way to do that is to look into some of these treatment options, to give it a try, see if it works for you. You could just look it up and see if it's something that interests you. Again, just here to share my experience. I don't know if I actually shared anything with you useful. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, and I would be happy to answer them for you, or you can always send me an email. If there are enough questions, we could do another video to talk about more. And as I receive more treatments, we will talk about more things. Also, if there's something specific that we haven't done a video on yet that you're interested in, you can drop it in the comments and let us know. And tune in for the next video. I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are at, and we'll talk to you later.